after that. They were present. Hey, real quick, how many Cardinals fans do we have in the audience today? How many? That's it? What, 5 when I count? At least half the audience Cardinals fans. Of course, we're talking about the St. Louis Cardinals who are leading the major leagues with wins this season. I don't even know if the Giants will make the playoffs. Thank you, Kevin. Always liked Kevin. Okay, town updates. I have 10 minutes to go through a lot of information, so I'll talk quick. Of course, I didn't wear my glasses again, so if I stand like 2 feet from the screen, that's so I can actually read what I've put up there. We had a great year last year, and we're going to have a great year this year. We accomplished a lot. This is a new branding initiative for us. We picked up on our main themes of really what Gilbert is, what we stand for, what we represent. Starting with community profile, we all know, founded in 1891. We were recognized as the 8th most thriving city in the nation, and we like that recognition because of some of the criteria they use to come up with that. It's more than just crime rates, it's more than median family income, it's more than cost of living. They also looked at things as such as the number of patents issued to your residents on an annual basis, which is a really good indicator of the type of entrepreneurial activity that's going on in your community and the kind of cutting-edge research. So we thought that was pretty impressive that right here in Gilbert, Arizona, we had more patents, or as many patents issued as most of the rest of the parts of the country, is one of the factors they evaluated. Our median age a little bit younger than the greater Phoenix region at 32.2. Growth, we were the 12th fastest growing community in the U.S. Right now, we're the 23rd fastest growing community in the U.S., which is still very impressive if you remember that there's over 19,000 cities, towns, and villages in the United States. So we're the 23rd fastest growing, we're the fastest growing in Arizona. We never really slowed down during the recession, and I'll show those numbers to you. But as it stands right now, 239,000 residents and some change, right at 240,000 residents. And we still project that at build out, we're going to be somewhere probably around 310,000 residents is our current projection. But currently that makes us the 5th largest community in Arizona and the 86th largest community in the United States. Another thing to help keep it into perspective for us is at 72.6 square miles, Gilbert, Arizona is larger than Washington, D.C., Boston, Miami, Minneapolis, and San Francisco. All communities that we would think of as major American cities, large, diverse, vibrant in some cases. Sorry. It's Faith Group Summit. I'm supposed to be nice today. The mayor and I are both very competitive, so if we can just be a little bit better than other communities. We are a large community, even geographically, by population, by geographic size. I know we're the town of Gilbert, and what we love about Gilbert is our small town, interconnected families, interconnected faiths, interconnected schools, everything that makes us special. We're actually quite large by any standard across the nation. Fire stations, in 2005 we had 8, right now we have 10. We've got 1 more under design, and that should finish us out. Depending on how we develop though, we may have the need for a smaller infill station near our central business district. If we start getting a lot of density of jobs in there, and as population, as we make decisions for the final land use, we may find the need to do 1 more station down south. But as of right now, we've got 1 more station to go. It'll start design soon, and then thereafter construction, and we'll be built out on that. Our FTE per 1,000 residents, Gilbert's always prided itself on being a very lean, efficient government, but with high quality services. We've continued that trend. In fiscal year 15, we were at 5.36 employees per 1,000 residents. In 2010, we were at 5.82. So we continue to find ways to increase efficiency, to avoid the need to bring on full-time positions, which are our single largest cost category as a service organization. That drives about 73% of our general fund budget because it's employees doing the services, not automated equipment. And so we're really keeping an eye on that. And if you held us to the same 5.82 today, and the number of FTEs that would be based on our population, we've avoided, if you took just a median cost of a fully loaded position with benefits of $60,000, we've avoided almost $6 million annually in cost, which over 10 years is $60 million. So it really adds up, so we keep a very sharp focus on our head count. Total housing units, 2012, we had 78,800. Street centerline miles, and that's just centerline miles, so that's not if we've got 5 lanes, that's not counting each lane, that's just the centerline. We have 989 miles of streets, just centerline miles of streets, so we've got a lot of infrastructure put in place. I mentioned fastest growing community in Arizona. So this is the stats from the last 5 years, 6 years, going from 2010, 2015, although 15 is not over yet. And we totaled the single family building permits issued for the larger entities in this region. If you'll notice, Gilbert's at the top at 9,564 permits issued during that period of time. It's larger than Phoenix that issued 8,365, which is the 5th largest city in the country, if you'll recall. So our growth is truly impressive. We built a quality of life that I think everybody wants to be a part of and raise their family in, but the growth is staggering. Committed to safety, we were ranked again the second safest city, large city in America with a population of over 100,000. And that's based on the crime statistics that we submit to the FBI, and they compile this. And I was telling the mayor before that the #1 city is Irvine, California, but it's a little bit of not a trick, but the way they report these stats, and it was our assistant town manager, Mark Skocipic, who is exceptionally good with digging into detail and numbers, who realized that the crime stats are reported individually for universities from cities. Irvine, California has a large number of universities within their community. I think 5, Mark, is what you found. So 5, so they each reported independently, and Irvine did, but if you total that together, their crime stats are actually higher than ours, so technically Gilbert's the safest large community in America. Very proud of that. Chief Dorn's back there, and everybody in this room is a part of making that happen. The other thing that I loved about this slide is I at the time felt lucky to graduate from college, as did my parents, but I went to school in Springfield, Missouri, that's at the bottom of that list, and I feel lucky to not only have graduated, but have lived through it. There must have been a lot of gunfire going on off campus that I wasn't aware of. Premier education, as we all know, we have 3 AAA rated school districts. We have 18 charter schools and 4 private schools. And now we have our first 4-year university, St. Xavier University, which opened their doors in August. They are phenomenal people. It's one of the first faith-based Catholic universities within this region. Every time we talk with them, we learn something more about them and just how special they really are, and their connections to our community that really just made it a great fit from the very beginning, even though we didn't rush into it. We took 3 years from start to finish to really understand what our need was and what they had to offer. They are the oldest, not only the oldest Catholic university in Chicago, they're the oldest university in Chicago, period. They were the very first university chartered in the city of Chicago back in the early 1800s. And they were the very first university chartered by the Sisters of Mercy, which is a worldwide order of nuns with a mission around health care and education. And they were also the ones that founded Dignity Healthcare and a direct tie to our Mercy Gilbert Hospital. So they have one of the best nursing schools in the program. Their business school is one of in the top 3% of accredited business schools in the nation. So just wonderful people, and what they will do for our community and our families and our businesses. For me, I think it'll be one of the things I'm most proud of one day when I look back on my career and what we accomplished. So if you haven't visited the building and gotten to know them, you really should. They are a very special group of people. Higher education, we're also right off our doorstep is ASU's Polytechnic campus, the Chandler Gilbert Community College, which Kevin, our mayor, calls Gilbert Chandler Community College, just so you're aware. And there are also 69 other colleges, universities, and technical schools within a 30-minute commute. And as the mayor's special assistant, Kurt Sharp, reminds us that the Sun Devils are just a stone's throw away as well. And I've been here 4 years, and I still don't get how psychotic you Sun Devil fans are. There's some deep-seated issues there. Our education level, 40.1% of Gilbert residents aged 25 and older hold a bachelor's degree, which outpaces the national average of 28%. Again, that is a great statistic. We have a well-educated community, and that drives a lot of the success that we see in other areas is by having an informed, educated public, and the benefits that accrue to society and to yourself and to your family from that. Money Magazine ranked us the 22nd best place to live. Wallet Hub ranked us the best city for working parents. As the mayor highlighted at our council meeting last Thursday night when the council approved the AZ Wall project, which will be a recreation of the Vietnam Wall in DC, we're the second best city for veterans to retire in and live in, and we're very proud of that. Our philosophy is that we want to be best in class in all lines of service for all the services we deliver to you. And we did an analysis several years ago to understand every service line that we do, both internal and external, to prioritize those services, to analyze those services for efficiencies, opportunities and efficiencies, and by major categories, there's over 220 lines of service we do day in and day out, and that can be things such as accounts payable, accounts receivable, things that you won't see, but are internal and people that's their job. By major categories, we have over 80 lines of service, so we are a very large, diverse organization delivering a line of services that really don't have a lot of congruency to one another, from treating water to public safety to finance to information technology, just a lot of diversity within our organization. And so one of the things we've really been focused on is creating a high-performing government and creating consistent, high-quality, efficient outcomes every time in everything we do. And we have 6 strategic initiatives that the council gave us that help us stay focused on what we're doing, and everything that we're doing day in and day out, year in and year out, should tie back to one of these, and they're community livability, technology leader, financial plan, infrastructure, and that's long-range infrastructure management, economic development, and high-performing government. We try to stay lean. I've mentioned our FTE headcount. If we look at cumulative growth over 2007 to 2014, population grew by 26.7%. Our community square foot, the increase in building grew by 24.8%, housing 21.6%, but our staff only grew by 8.5%. So again, we're serving an ever larger community with the leanest possible staff we can, and one of the ways that we do that is through a very holistic approach, and relationships do matter, and the faith group and what you guys provide to our community and this alliance is just a key part of that. We couldn't do so many of the things we do without your help and your support and your efforts. Low-cost provider. Every year, the city of Tempe does a cost of services analysis for all the major cities in the region for the major categories, water, sewer, solid waste, and they tally that up, what that cost is per household. Gilbert, once again, we're at 1,383, so we're the lowest cost of services of the major communities in our region. Highest is Glendale at 2,067, so almost $700 more to live in Glendale than Gilbert, Arizona for our services. So again, we keep an equal eye on that stuff, and we're very, very proud of that number. And then if you look at our tax rate, we also have the lowest combined tax rate of any of the major cities in our region as well. And our sales tax is 1.5% right there at the bottom, along with our neighbor to the west, Chandler. Our property tax rate at 1.07, and again, we have no primary property tax, only a secondary for infrastructure needs. Our operating budget, this was last year's $464 million, and you put that in comparison into others. And what's interesting than that, you'll see ours is larger than Tempe's or larger than Peoria's. But Peoria is a community of about 160, well, both Peoria and Tempe are around 160,000 people. So they're actually much smaller communities to Gilbert. So the fact that our budget's bigger, and not by that much, is pretty impressive when you think that they're actually a lot smaller than us. So again, it gets back to that efficiency. And another wonderful thing to note is we haven't had a tax increase or a rate increase since, where's Mary Vinci? It's 2007? 2007, so in over going on 8 years, we haven't raised any taxes or any rates, And yet during that time, just since the time I've been here, we've added almost 30,000